Hare Krishna. So today's session is named as Vatsalya. So Vatsalya, the word have different meanings. In different scriptures, it is mentioned the word Vatsalya. So Vatsalya, we can say it is the love, or the love you have with someone, you want to support, you want to protect it. So here the meaning of Vatsalya is the love, your affection with your partner, and also the love or affection with the progeny. So what we can do to keep this materialistic life more healthier and prosperous, to understand your partner. So that's what we are going to discuss in this session. So we are going to discuss mainly about 3 topics. First one is relationship. A healthy relationship. How should be our love? How should be our relationship? How we should deal with our partners? That is the first topic. Second one is female physiology related with pregnancy. So female physiology related with pregnancy only. Because females, they may know about the female physiology, but it is very important that their partners should also know the basic. They should have the basic knowledge about the female physiology. And third one, very important topic, healthy progeny through Ayurveda. How you can produce a healthy progeny by following Ayurvedic scriptures, by understanding Ayurveda well, how you can follow, how you can prepare, how you can make your body for a healthy progeny. So these 3 topics we are going to cover in this session. So relationship, we will speak a little bit about the basic thing about relationship, and we will more focus on the female physiology and a healthy progeny through Ayurvedic principles. So I request all the participants to mute themselves. So here there will not be any interruption between the session. So aim of this session is the aim of our session to understand the inner activities, to understand what is happening in our body. By understanding the activities, you can have a better bondage between your partners, because now we don't know what is happening in the body. You may know about your body, but you may not know more about your partners. What is happening? What is the physiology? What is natural phenomenon happening? So that all things we should know. Once we understand, we can have better bondage. You can support your partner, because naturally they will have some difficulties, some physiological difficulties. So that you should know, so that you can support them, so they will get a better understanding and the life will be easier. So knowledge regarding healthy progeny, that's very important, because healthy progeny, if you want to go for a healthy kid, that is in your hands. So that all things we will discuss in this session, and how to improve the quality of your offspring, how to improve the quality of your offspring. So this is the aim of, we are aiming for these main 5 points: to understand the partner better, to have a better healthy progeny, and to improve the quality also. So now, first we should know what is love. Everybody know what is love, but actually what it is, it's not the word love. What actually it means? We have actually three components. One is intimacy, second one is passion, third one is commitment. So intimacy means that is attachment or closeness, the bondedness that you feel with your partner. So intimacy is common, that we feel, that we see in the partners, but it is only one component. And second one is passion. Passion is related with both limerence and sexual attraction. Limerence means we can say desire. You can say like that, desire. So intimacy and passion. But along with that, the third component, very important component, commitment. When these three come together, then only it becomes love. When intimacy and passion in a person, if you have, you cannot say it is love. There we are committing to the partner or committing that you are completely accepting. So love means intimacy, passion, and commitment. When these three components comes together, then it becomes a true love. Otherwise, we cannot say that is as a love. So that commitment part is already understood in love. That is not what we see in today's life. When we are speaking about different stages of relationship, all of you know tomorrow is Valentine's Day, the importance of Valentine's Day. Many people think that Valentine's Day is only for romance. Romance also have different components. First, you have to understand your partner. You have to accept your partner by proper understanding. So here in relationship, first phase, it is infatuation stage. Infatuation means it is a complete a dream stage. You will feel only the positive side of your partner, or otherwise you love to whom you will understand or you will accept only the positive things. That is the first phase. It is intense attractive phase. In understanding stage, there you will come to know more about him or more about her. In the understanding phase, you will come to know more. When you come to know more, there will be many positive things and some negative things. Otherwise, his strength and his weakness, or her strength and her weakness. Third phase is disturbance stage. You are committed or you are in affair. You are understanding one person. So after understanding, you may have different thoughts in your mind. So there will be some disturbances. This stage will have some confronts. You may have some small conflicts, confronts each other of the conflicts. Fourth one is opinion maker stage, where you will have different opinions. So in this opinion, something will be acceptable. Some opinion may not be tasty. If you cross all these phases, once you cross all these phases, then you will come to a happy stage. You will reach to a happy stage. See, in molding stage, after that it is molding stage. Molding means here you are accepting your partner. After accepting the partner, you are ready to make some internal adjustments, molding yourself to suit, to fit with your partner. Both of you are trying hard to mold each other, to fit your own wants. So that is called as molding stage. Then after it is reaching to the happy stage. If you cross that molding stage, then it will be happy stage. That means you are accepting your partner by understanding all the negatives, all the strength, weakness, everything, and you are ready to mold yourself to accept your partner. Then it will be a happy stage. You are able to follow easily. You are able to mutually mingle easily. That is happy stage. But again, when it goes more deeper, when you are together with different events, incidents and all, there is a small phase, doubt stage. When you pass that stage, finally you will reach to a complete trust stage. So relationship is like this, so many stages. You are indirectly, you are passing through different stages. When you are reaching to a complete trust stage, there you can easily accept your partner. You can easily understand your partner. You will be able to accept your partner. So there are different stages. Some relations will reach to few stages only. When you understand your partner well, when you are trying to understand physically and mentally, then you can reach to a complete trust stage. That is healthy relationship. So here you should understand the phenomenal or the physiology, the mental aspect of male and females are not same. In females, some difference is there in the thought process. In the males, some difference is there. Males, they think love in terms of passion. They refrain from disclosing. But in females, they think love in terms of friendship. They rate affection more as do men. Females rate more. They disclose more. They open up more. So that is natural phenomenon. That is natural physiology because of that hormones. So understanding is very important. Very lovely quote. Immature love says, I love you because I need you. But mature love says, I need you because I love you. So always everybody should think about the mature love. You want somebody because you love them well. It's not like that you love because you need. So this should be the thought process in everybody's mind. So it was just an introduction about the relationship. Actually, our topic starts now. The importance or why I put all these things to realize the fact we should not be in a fantasy life. We should not be in a dream world. You should understand the fact. You should be able to accept the things. You should be able to understand the mind and physiological characters to have a better bondage, and finally to forgive. So here, as an Ayurvedic physician, I would like to explain more about the physiology and the aspects which is happening in the body. Understand the physiology for better progeny. So it was just an introduction about the relationship. But here we will know more about the physiology of the ladies, physiology of your partner, because it is very important. First one is menstruation. People feel ashamed or they feel some shy when we speak or when we know about this menstruation. But everybody should know we are coming with the help of this only. Menstruation or periods is normal vaginal bleeding that occurs as part of woman's monthly cycle. We may say periods, menstruation, bleeding, or cycle. All these things is menstruation. So this menstruation is to prepare the body for pregnancy. Every month your body will prepare for pregnancy. If it is not getting fertilized, then it will shed off and it will get removed from the body. That is periods, or otherwise that is menstruation in simple words. So that menstrual blood is partly blood and partly the tissue. So that is menstruation. Why I am keeping already the ladies, they know more about this menstruation periods and everything. But the gents, the males, they should know what is menstruation and the coming things what we are going to discuss. Then only they can understand their partner more easily. They can understand their partner well. They can support the partners. So that is the aim of this session. PMS, premenstrual syndrome. Many of the ladies, they suffer with this type of syndrome, this type of difficulties. It is a collection of symptoms that some people get during their periods. Some people get headache, back pain, bloating, breast tenderness. So these all are physical symptoms. But emotional and feeling sad, irritability, mood changes, all these things are also part of this premenstrual syndrome. Headache, back pain, bloating, breast tenderness, all these things at least the ladies can adjust. But these emotional feelings, mood changes, when the partner can support, when they can understand, they will feel more comfortable. So here the support of the partner is very much essential. See, again, our topic, Vatsalya, here we mean to have a better idea, understanding about the female physiology and to plan for a healthy progeny. So here, premenstrual syndrome is a phenomenon, is a physiology happening in many ladies during their periods. So it is the responsibility of the partner to support them when they are suffering with these difficulties. Already they are having some emotional stress, mood changes. Over that, if the partner is shouting, what will be the result? What will be the mindset of that lady? What she will feel? So it is the responsibility of the partner to support her, to understand, because you are getting this knowledge. Now you can understand it is a natural phenomenon that mood changes. So it is the responsibility of you to support her during her periods. So what happens in this menstruation time? Actually, this menstruation means the removal of the endometrial thickening, which is needed for implantation if she conceives. So if she is not conceiving, that should go out. So this endometrial lining is going out along with this blood. That is called as menstruation. And it occurs from 21 to 35 days, average of 28 days. In general, it is of 28-day cycle. but in some people it varies. So that is menstruation. So this black blood, so menstruation, it starts from the age of puberty. That is called as menarche. So that is the black blood, or otherwise dark blood, that has taken longer time to leave the uterus. That is called as black blood, or it is called, this phenomenon, it is called as menarche, the first periods. And menopause, that occurs in the late 40s or early 50s. It is a natural biological process, that the end of this menstrual cycle. So from the age of this menarche till menopause, a lady is fertile. From the age of menarche till menopause, menarche is around the age of 12. From that period onwards till menopause phase, ladies, they are fertile. And many myths that we hear, if somebody is having some difficulties during menstruation, some physical activity increases the menstrual cramps. It is not like that. When you are doing some physical activity to relieve the pain and bloating. In natural condition, nobody should try to stop menstrual blood. That menstrual blood is purifying your body. That should go out. So we should not try in natural condition. Only in exceptional conditions you can try to stop. And there are so many herbal trees, different leaves that can use to reduce the difficulties of this bleeding. But this period is purifying you if you are not getting conceived. So what all things you can avoid to reduce the worsened symptoms of these periods? If you reduce the salt, sugar, coffee, spicy food items, if you avoid all these items, you can at least prevent, you can at least reduce the worsened symptoms of periods like severe muscle cramps, severe stomach pain. Such things you can prevent by following a healthy lifestyle. Next is ovulation. Very, very important procedure. Very, very important activity that is happening in our body. Ovulation. It's a natural phenomenon again. More than menstruation, ovulation is important if you are planning for a progeny. Again, I am repeating, more than menstruation, ovulation is important. Many people know about menstruation, but very less people know more about this ovulation. Periods means it is menstruation, but ovulation means it is internally, it is happening. Ovulation is the release of egg from woman's ovaries. Ovulating means the egg is released. So when this egg is released, it is fusing with the sperm. And finally, she's getting conceived. So ovulation is the fertile period. Ovulation is the fertile period. So when one lady is ovulating and the sperm is coming, it is getting fertiled with this egg and she is getting pregnant. So you can see in this cycle, the first few days, 1 to 7, that is the phase of menstruation. The first days are phase of menstruation, 1 to 7. It may vary from 3 to 7. In some ladies, it will be up to 3 days only. Some places it is 5 days and maximum 7 days. So that is the phase of menstruation. And later, after that, after a few days, then ovulation occurs. So here you can see From the first day, the egg, or otherwise you can see a small dot. Second day, third day, it is increasing size, and here on 14th day, it is releasing. 14th day, it is releasing. So that is called as ovulation. That may vary from 10 to 15 like that, one day here or there it will be. But this is the best time to conceive. This is the most fertile period. So how we can understand this ovulation? Because it is externally, we cannot understand. Like menstruation, ovulation will not be externally easily understanding. You can understand by some physiological, mental and physical changes. First one is BBT, basal body temperature. Some temperature rise will be there. Temperature rise will be there in the female. Then some people, there will be some muscle cramps, breast tenderness, increased sexual drive. Increased sexual drive is a part of this ovulation. So these all are the major signs of ovulation. One can understand. This is the phase, this is the time where she is ovulating. So by understanding the days of ovulation, you can plan for a healthy progeny. These all are the main signs. So ovulation usually happens between 11th to 16th day of your cycle. This is very important. This calculation is very important. Ovulation usually happens between the 11th to 16th day of your cycle. 11th to 16th day of your cycle. So during this phase, you are fertile. During this phase, you are fertile. So you are most fertile within a day or 2 days, either side of an egg being released from your ovaries. You are most fertile 1 or 2 days on either side of ovulation. For example, if a lady, if she is ovulating on the 12th day of her cycle, by the previous signs, you can understand that this day she is ovulating. That's why we put 10 signs for ovulation. So 10th, 11th day she is fertile. 12th and some hours after that also she is fertile. So you can see here, up to 5 days, the sperm can live inside woman's body. Up to 5 days, but preferably 2 days before ovulation or few hours after ovulation. That is the most fertile hours. 2 days prior to ovulation, up to 48 hours prior to ovulation, and maybe few hours later to ovulation. If you have physical contact, then there is maximum possibility of pregnancy. So why we are explaining all these things? Most of the time, pregnancy is accidental. Most of the time, pregnancy is accidental. But this phenomenon, by understanding this cycle, you can plan. When you are planning for a healthy progeny, you have the capacity to improve the quality of your offspring, to improve the quality of your kid. So that things we will see in the coming slides. Pregnancy should not be accidental. Pregnancy should be pre-planned. when you are planning a pregnancy, the quality of your kid is in your hands. Quality of your kid is in your hands when you are planning it properly. So here what I'm saying, 11 to 16 days. In between 11 and 16 days, you are more fertile. 1 or 2 days prior to ovulation and 1 or 2 days after ovulation, you are fertile. But most preferably 2 days prior and few hours later to ovulation, most possibility of conception is there. So here you can see pregnancy can occur few hours later also. Getting pregnancy after ovulation is also possible, but it is only for few hours because that egg will exist there in its good form for few hours only. But the sperm can stay there for many days. Sperm can stay for 4 to 5 days in female body, but the egg will stay for few hours only. So, few hours after ovulation, the fertility becomes over. So although ovulation is a one-day occurrence each month, you don't think that only you will get pregnancy in that one day. Conception can have that 6-day window, 5 days leading to ovulation and 1 day of that ovulation. 5 days before ovulation and 1 day of the ovulatory day. Most preferably, we advise 1 or 2 days prior to the ovulatory phase and on the day of ovulation, that is the most suitable fertile day. So ovulatory phase of menstruation. So you can see here, first it is ovulation, then day 0. Here you can see the sperm also. When it is mixing, when the sperm and ovum is getting combined, fertilization occurs. After fertilization, it becomes multiplication occurs and it is moving, and finally it is getting implanted here. You can see here, ovulation occurs. After ovulation, it is fusing with the sperm. Then it is moving, multiplication occurs, and it is moving and it is going to a best place. There it will get implanted. So in one previous picture, you saw 2 sides. Here, if implantation not occurs, the endometrial thickening, the lining will shed off. This lining is needed for implantation. So here the lady is conceived. So there will not be any shedding and the thickening will be there. And there will not be any periods. So this is the natural phenomenon. Ovulation occurs, already sperm is there. It is fusing, fertilizing, and it is getting implanted in a place, in an endometrium. Endometrial thickening is there for proper implantation. So why I am explaining all these things, in the coming slide, you will come to what we can do. What we can do to improve the quality of the offspring. So sensations.
Namaste to admin.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Can you mute everyone, sir?
Yes. So here we can again continue sensation and emotion. A woman's sexual drive or libido is often at its highest level during ovulation. So it is a natural phenomenon. It is the natural tendency to have conception. That means naturally the sexual drive is at its highest level during ovulation. And ovulation is the day where she is maximum fertile. So if you have that physical contact on that day, that is the best day to have pregnancy. I'm sorry, all in between so many people are getting added. So that's why we are getting small break in between. So woman, she is most fertile during the ovulatory day, and that day she will have that maximum sexual drive also. So it is a natural phenomenon to have that physical contact and to have a healthy progeny. So in females also there are different type cycles: 28-day cycle, 26-day cycle, 35-day cycle. So in 28-day cycle, 12 to 16 day, 12 to 16, because females, they know more about their cycle. So if your cycle is 28-day cycle, you are more fertile from the 12th to 16th day. 12th to 16th day and best on 14th day. For a 28-day cycle lady, most fertility period, that is 12 to 16 days of her cycle. For a 26-day cycle, from 10 to 14 will be the best fertile period. 10 to 14 will be the best fertile period. Then 35-day, it is not common, but in some cases, 35-day cycle is also we see. So there it varies from 19th to 23rd day. So here you should understand this ovulation, we cannot say 10th day, 11th day, 12th day. It is depending on your cycle. If you are having 28-day cycle, then 12 to 16, and for 26-day cycle, it will be from 10 to 14. And by understanding the signs of ovulation, you can make sure that you are ovulating. And when you are ovulating, that is the best fertile day. If you are planning like that, that is the best time to have pregnancy. Now we can understand a little bit about Ayurveda. What is explaining in Ayurveda? Garbha Samagri, responsible factors for pregnancy. Ridu Kshetrabu Bijana Samagriya Garbha Sambhavaha. Acharya explains like this. Ridu Kshetrambu Bijana. Ridu, Kshetra, Ambu, and Bijam. These are the most responsible factors for a healthy pregnancy. Four most responsible factors. Ridu. Ridu means fertile period. Which one is the fertile period? Ovulatory phase that we already discussed. Ovulatory phase, that is 10 to 16 days, we can say. In general, 10 to 16 days. You can understand by the ovulatory symptoms, the symptoms of ovulation that already we explained. Ridu, that is the fertile period. Here we can say ovulation, the phase of ovulation. Kshetram, well-primed, disease-free secretory endometrial bed. So here is the importance. If we are stopping the menstruation or menstrual blood unnecessarily, without any genuine reason, then this endometrial thickening will increase. Different problems will occur. Endometriosis, like different will occur for you. Free endometrial area. So healthy endometrial bed is called as kshetram, or otherwise the place. Third one is ambu, or otherwise the fluid. That is unobstructed blood circulation. Fourth one is bija. That is quality and quality ovum. Quality sperm from a healthy male and quality ovum from a disease-free healthy female. So this is very important responsible factors. First one is fertile period. If you are planning, it should be during ovulatory phase. If you are planning, first the endometrial bed should be proper. If endometrial blood is not proper, then it will result in some sort of abortion, because this should be implanted there and it should survive there for around 10 months. If the endometrial bed is not strong, abortion will occur. So kshetram, or otherwise the place, it is very important. Third one is ambu, the blood circulation. That is very, very essential. Then bija, very important factor, that is the quality. So quality of the sperm and ovum. So these are the 4 main responsible factors for pregnancy. And healthy progeny through Ayurveda. What Ayurveda is doing to have a healthy progeny? What Ayurveda can do to have a healthy progeny? First one is detoxification. Second one is preparation of the body and mind. Third one is diet. So all these factors we can see one by one. First one is detoxification. Then preparation of the body and mind. Third one is diet. If you do all these things, you can have a healthy progeny. So first one, for male, what do you have to do? Get purified by Sneha Sweda Vamanadi Kriya. Get purified means detoxification. When you are going to have some food, you will wash your hands. You want to have a clean plate. When you are drinking water, or when you are going out, and if you are taking some tea, you want it should be served in a clean plate or clean glass. Similarly, if you are planning for a kid, your body should also be clean and neat. So for that, you should clean your system. You are living in a metropolitan city, industrialized area, polluted atmospheric, complete pollutions are there. So we are living in such atmosphere and we are thinking that already we are pure. We don't need anything extra. It is not right. First, you should clean. First, you should purify your body. You should completely purify, detoxify your body and pray for a healthy kid. First, detoxification of your body is needed. Again, I'm saying, there you can't do anything. When you are planning for a kid, there you can do everything. There you can do everything. First one, detoxification of your body, purification of your body, cleansing of your body. That is the first thing. Second thing, celibacy for 1 month. If you keep celibacy in the sense when you are continuously undergoing sexual intercourse, the quality of the sperm and the body, it is getting reduced. The quality of the sperm, it is getting reduced. Within a period of 10 days, if you are undergoing 4-5 times of sexual intercourse, the quality will not be in its peak. When you are keeping 1 month celibacy, the maximum qualified sperm will be there in your body. For that, what we are doing? We are preparing the body. We are preparing the body. How? For males, we can have ghee, milk, and sweet type of food items. Because sperm, which needs more of sweet potency food items. Ghee, milk, or different type of sweet potency food items will help to improve the quality of your sperm. Sperm is more of kapha guna and ovum is more of pitta guna. So in males, you can have more of ghee, milk, madhurya rasa dravyas, sweet type of food items. In females, more of oil, black gram preparations, and pitta vardhaka healthy food. Healthy food. So by taking this type of food, the needed quality will increase in your body. For pregnancy, you need this type of quality. Kapha guna is more needed for males and pitta guna is needed for females. This oil will help for easy lubrication, easy movement. So such type of food is needed for females. For males, ghee, milk, and other sweet type food items. Sweet means it should be healthy sweets. So such food will improve the quality of your sperm as well as the ovum. And responsible factors for quality. What all are the factors which are responsible for your quality? Quality of the offspring, quality of the new kid that is going to come. The pregnancy, there you can control many factors, except the third factor, Atmajam. The responsible factor for quality offspring. What all are the responsible factors? First one is Madrajam, the quality of the mother. Quality of the father, that is Pidrajam. Desajam, that is the quality from the food. Satmajam, from the surroundings. Atmajam, that is the newborn quality. So 4 qualities, 4 main factors are in your hands. When mother is emotionally very weak, do you think your kid will be very stronger? If father is shouting every day on the mother or otherwise that pregnant lady, do you think your kid will have proper strength emotionally and physically? I think at least a few of you maybe heard about Abhimanyu. So from where he understood to enter Chakravyuha? During the pregnancy period only. These factors are very much responsible for a healthy kid. The qualities from your mother, quality from the father, quality of the surroundings, Satmajam, that is adapted. Desajam, qualities of the food, You are going somewhere outside, taking junk food, unhealthy food, and you are planning, you are always thinking about a healthy kid. From where you will get? No. So during the pregnancy period, pre-pregnancy period, and also post-pregnancy period, proper care of the mother and kid is essential. During the pre-pregnancy period, preparation. During the pregnancy period, for better quality, by following these four factors. Madhrajam, that is the qualities of the mother. Mother should follow healthy, good regimen, healthy routine regimen. Father should be supportive. Then Satmijam, the atmosphere, the environment, everything should be supportive. Resajam, the food that you are taking in, where is the quality? That gives the power, energy, support. So all these factors are in your hands. Only the third factor, that Atmajam, that you cannot do. But the majority of the factors are in your control. So here in Govardhan Ayurveda, we do for pregnancy care. So in the pre-pregnancy phase, Panchakarma we do. Why we are doing this Panchakarma? Panchakarma is called as detoxification. Already we explained. Panchakarma means detoxification. For general health, Panchakarma is for general health, for Bija Shuddhi, for qualified sperm and ovum, to avoid disease, to make your internal body strong enough, because you want to carry that pregnancy, you will be carrying for 10 months. So your body should be strong enough. So for that purpose, we are doing Panchakarma. Then yoga for mental stability. Your mind should be calm, cool. So for that, yoga is essential. Then Vajikarana, different type of aphrodisiac procedures, internal as well as external procedures. Vajikarana, more of internal medications we will give. And counseling to understand more about this phenomenon. So these all things we do in the pre-pregnancy phase. During pregnancy, healthy diet, yoga, music therapy, healthy Ayurvedic herbal medicines, good counseling. So all these things are needed during pregnancy phase. During pregnancy phase, we don't recommend any treatments. So these therapies, these different procedures, these different limbs will help to have a better progeny, to support the pregnant lady. And after the childbirth, good counseling, how to have a healthy child, how to take your child into a healthy phase. Suvarna Prashan, it is a sanskar to improve the immunity, to improve the defense mechanism of your kid. Then Rasayana Kalpana, different types of Rasayana Kalpa, all these things will help. So these all things, 3-phase treatments, pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, and post-pregnancy. That means we can say after childbirth. So these phase treatments are essential for progeny. I like to say pregnancy should not happen accidentally. You have complete control over the pregnancy. You can plan for your kid and you have all the needed facilities to have a better, healthy, strong progeny. So you should use that and have a better progeny and thereby to serve the nation in better way. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, we can have that for the next 15 minutes. Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Yes.
Can you give the concept of the twin babies, sir?
Twin baby. Great. So, 1 second. So, a twin baby means there are two sperm that enters and that becomes fused and it is getting implanted. So, this I will admit. So, twin baby means the same phenomenon is happening. So, in the ovum, I will just go back to some slides and I will explain you more better. Yeah. So here you can see, so after ovulation, in the day, here the sperm is entering. Actually here, what happens, the ovulation, in the ovum, there are different lining, different coverings are there. Corona, radiata, like different types of coverings are there. So you are not only one single sperm is not entering. Millions of sperms are entering. Millions of sperms are entering. Among these millions of sperm, only one sperm will be able to enter this ovum. Millions of sperms are going inside woman's body, and only one sperm, the best qualified one single sperm, will be able to cross this barrier and will be able to enter inside. And there, that one sperm will fuse and then it will get multiplied. You can see here multiplication occurs. It is divides and into multiple division occurs, and finally it is getting implanted here. So here also similarly it will occurs, but it will get into two different, but it will get implanted in same form. And the development inside will occur as two. And there they will develop, and once it comes out, then it will be like a separate. So the development is similar. Getting a twin is not very common because it's a natural phenomenon that only one ovum can enter this. You see, out of sperms into the ovum, there are million sperms are coming, million sperms. So in each space, each area, the number is getting reduced. When it is getting entered, it will be many millions. After first phase, it will be half. Then again, it is reaching here, it will be 1/4. Once it reaches here, it will be very limited in number. And after, once it is getting reacted with this outer lining of the ovum, many of that gets dies and that one only get enters. And that one is getting entered and it is getting fused with this and it is getting fertilized. Here it becomes two, but it is very rarely it occurs. But generally when we are planning for a single baby. Yes. So there are.
Sir, thank you, sir. I understand the concept of the fertilization, but is there any particular reason for the twin baby? My doubt is, as about what I understand, this one sperm cell is going to fuse with the ovum, right?
Sorry?
One sperm cell in the fertilization concept, one sperm cell finally it reaches to the ovum.
Yes.
And there it fuses, sir.
Yes, right.
So what happens in the concept of the twin babies, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, so there are two enders.
So in twin babies, okay, 2 sperm cells enters.
So there you see, when we have what we say, sperm count is less. Many time we hear that sperm count is very less. I think you also heard in different people. Sperm count is less means it is not that they don't have 1 or 2 sperm. Millions of sperms are needed, and out of that, one will be very much qualified in all the sense, and that will enter, that will cross the barrier, and that will enter, and that will make the sperm. That will fuse with the ovum, and finally it will get implanted and form the embryo. So here, one should be very much qualified. There will be so many qualified sperms in one single ejaculation. But one will enter and that will get united. So here you can see, here the division is occurring. You can see, I think at least you can see here it is 1 into 2. Here again it is getting to 4. Here it is getting to 8. So multiply, here it is getting easily getting divided and multiplied. So here once it is enters, it becomes 2 and 2 divisions occurs. Parallelly 2 places it is getting divided and it becomes 2 embryo. And it is getting implanted, and the growth similar to one single baby, for both baby that growth is happening. So I have some questions, just a second. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Yes.
Yes. So as you were telling about some detoxification technique, detoxification should be done before pregnancy for male and female both.
Yes.
So in detoxification, can you do Shank Prashalan also that we teach in yoga? Shank Prashalan.
Can we do? Sorry.
Shank Prashalan. योग में सिखाते हैं शंख प्रक्षालन.
So I'm not very clear what you are. I cannot. It's not audible clearly. So I will explain what is detoxification actually.
I was asking about Shank Prakshalan.
Shank Prakshalan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Ayurveda, see, I am an Ayurvedic doctor and we are explaining about the Ayurvedic concepts of healthy progeny. It is explained in Ayurvedic scriptures. So in Ayurveda, this detoxification, it is explaining that Panchakarma procedures, different types of Panchakarma procedures. Here you can see Sneha, Sweda, Vamanadi Kriya. So different types of Panchakarma procedures are needed for complete cleansing. For example, if we want to do some cleansing of the body, there is one pre-procedure, that is Sneha and Sweda, that is the preparation. Then main procedure, that is Vamanadi Kriya. If you want to clean your upper body, we do Vamana Kriya. In order to clean the stomach and intestine, digestive system, we do Virejana Kriya. That is called as some purgation procedure, specific Kriya. Panchakarma means 5, Pancha means 5, and Karma means procedures. So 5 procedures are there to purify the body, to clean the system. In Ayurveda, it's not only 5 procedures, 5 major procedures will help you to clean the whole system. So that's what we are doing. So this Panchakarma is to clean the system, not only to clean, after cleaning, your system should be stable and balanced. So it is a healthy procedure, therapeutic procedure that will help to balance the system after cleansing also. And after cleansing, you will feel the changes. And this change is needed because I already explained, when we are going outside to have some food, you want clean plate, you want clean table should be clean, everything should be clean. So when we are planning for our kids, when we are planning for a good, healthy progeny, the womb, the stomach, where it is getting implanted for the mother, that area should also be cleansed. Then only it will be a healthy progeny. And for other purposes, we are doing different procedures. Here you can see different procedures like counseling, yoga, and music therapy. This is to improve the quality. But for basic, strong, healthy kid, we should do that cleansing detoxification procedure. So that is very commonly done. It is very simple procedure and very safe procedure that will not create any difficulty, but that is very effective procedure also.
Okay, thank you, sir. And one more thing in this. So,
Yes.
how many days before pregnancy or before going to have a physical contact with the woman? So, how many days before that we should go for Panchkarma?
Sorry?
How many days before having a pregnancy we should go for Panchkarma?
So actually, see, here many things we are explaining, not only for the physical body, but also for the mental system also. That means your physical body as well as your mind should be properly counseled. Your body as well as mind should be prepared for the kid, or otherwise you should satisfactorily, you should go for this. So along with your physical body, your mental system should also be cleansed. So generally we do 21 days of Panchakarma. First we will go for 21 days Panchakarma, which includes all the procedures needed to clean the system. All the procedure needed means the essential procedure to clean and to improve, to rejuvenate the system. Then we will suggest for some time of healthy herbal medicines, and you can have some healthy regimen. Then you can go for this physical contact, then you will get a healthy, better progeny. So generally we speak about 1 month. 1 month prior to your planning, you can go for that cleansing. And when you are planning for that, not only we are speaking about the physical body, but also your mind, your mental system should also be here. Then we will get a good result.
Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions or enquiries, we have already given our contact and all. You can always contact through emails, and our contact number is here. So we are doing this Garbhadan Sanskar since we. So mainly our focus is to prepare the lady and the gent before conceiving. That is the pre-pregnancy phase. You can do some cleansing procedure to prepare the body so that you will get a healthy, qualified offspring, healthy and high quality offspring. So for that purpose, we are doing different procedures. During pregnancy, treatments are not advisable. That period, we give some healthy yoga techniques, some music therapy to improve the mental aspect also. And after procedure, we take care of the kid. So the procedure is like a 3-phase procedures. So our main aim, again, I am saying, when we are planning for a kid, it should not be an accidental pregnancy, because you have all the facilities and you can plan about the quality of your kid. You have that power to plan for the quality also. So that should be always after planning. When you are planning well, and if you are going for that phase, it will be healthy and qualified offspring. So,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
As you said, ovulation period is the best time to get pregnancy.
yes,
Uh,
yeah. You can tell your question.
the sperm quality,
Yeah,
if you maintain these particulars, then we can get a sperm quality. That sperm we can use a daily physical contact, yeah, at the time of ovulation.
oh, I didn't because some interruption is there. I will explain. Then after that, if you have a question again, you can ask me. So what we are telling, if you keep 1 month of brahmacharya in the sense celibacy, without indulging in sexual contact and without releasing the sperm and preserving the sperm for 1 month, that means it's one thing is by preserving, second thing is by improving the quality by having that healthy food that we already explained, milk, ghee and madhura dravyas, that means sweet type of food items. So in one side the quality is increasing and the quantity and the the aspect that needed for a healthy sperm, that is increasing in one side. In other side, what you are doing, you are preserving it. So when you are doing properly with preservation for 1 month, the quality of the sperm is increasing to its high peak level. And our aim is to do a sexual contact, to have sexual contact with the partner on the best day, that is the ovulatory phase. And we can understand by understanding the cycle. In two ways, we can understand the ovulatory phase. One is by the signs and symptoms. What the lady, sometimes she may feel some stomach, some like cramps, or the sexual drive will be high, and slight spotting will be there, and a different mood. So different things one can understand whether she is ovulating or not. Second thing is by following a cycle. If the cycle is regular, following the cycle. So in this both ways, you can understand the quality of your sperm, and that day you can get association. That day you can have that physical contact. So the quality. So here you can prepare for 1 month, and you have to be in sexual contact only on that specific day. That day she is completely fertile, and there is a maximum possibility, maximum chance for a healthy offspring, because high quality sperm are coming after complete 1 month. So here the calculation is like this: which sperm is having high quality, that only enter the ovum. So you are preserving for 1 month, and there at least 1 or 2 good high quality sperm will be there, and that will be able to enter. So it will be in the fertile period also. So that time the ovum is also ready to accept. So that time will be the best period, best time there you can have the sexual intercourse to have the healthy progeny.
Thank you. My doubt is clear. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I request, actually this session is meant for 3 purposes. So from the participant side, if they can mute, it will be easier for me to speak. So our main aim was to teach about healthy progeny and all. And second one, that was to understand your partner. You have to understand your partner, their physiological changes, what is happening in the body, and what we have to do, how we can support them. So that was the one main aim. And about the relationship. So our main focus was on a healthy progeny and to understand your partner. So I think at least a few of you may understood the phenomenon, the physiology, what is happening in the ladies and how to go with this and how to support. So we can wind up the session here. If you have any question regarding this, you can email us or you can contact us. And if anything, we will have other sessions also in the coming week. So there also we can discuss more about this. Hare Krishna.